Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell, and welcome to 10,000 and Below, where I go to BoardGameGeek.com, the biggest database about board games in the world, and look at games that are ranked 10,000 and below. Kind of an off-the-cuff type thing, where I'm just looking at them and telling you what I think of them, or just looking to find things that are interesting. Now, of course, realize as we do these that the numbers on this change pretty drastically when they're down this far. So there's actually a couple games today that were on the list last time. They've dropped a little bit lower, but is what it is. I can't record all 80 of these at one time. Alrighty, so let's get started here. So the first one, we always take a look at the first and last one. We have Ghostbusters Blackout. So Ghostbusters Blackout came out last year from IDW Games. And so you can see here, this, I'm assuming it's from the cartoon, or maybe it's a later type thing. This is one of the Ghostbuster games I haven't played. I'm not even sure it's out yet. I do like the artwork, a lot of it. It looks interesting. It doesn't look like it's that heavy of a game, and it looks a lot different than the Ghostbusters miniature style game. Alright, Strange Vending Machine Conex. We talked about those last time. Haggle from 1963. Well, that's kind of an interesting one. Let's take a look at that one. Wow. It's a public domain game, but Sid Saxon is one of the designers for it. It's a thinking game for a large group of people. And he hand him a sealed envelope with a small number of colored cards and rules, orange cards. And you may trade cards to get the most valuable hand of cards. Well, that's interesting. It doesn't even sound like a bad game at all. Re-implemented by Pirate Handler. So this actually was made, Yehuda Berlinger made this in 2007. Huh. Well, we learn something new every time. All right. Bermuda. This here is 120 people taking a look at it. Oh, yeah, this is from Hook. I remember seeing this last time now. Alrighty, let's move down. V-Wars was in the last one. Clue, Game of Thrones. This is always, I always love when they take Clue and just throw a theme on it. I mean, I get that in Clue you're trying to figure out who did what, but I doubt it was done as a detective thing. I mean, it just looks like a literal recreation of the Clue board. Who are the characters in it? They're just screenshots of the people from the TV show, too. No, there's two different kinds of boards. Oh, I see. Whatever. Not interested in that one at all. We Are the Word. Oh, what a bad name of a game. We Are the Word. A cooperative game in which one person tries to guess a word with help of other players, each giving them a one-word clue. But if two players come up with the same clue, they can't reveal it. Well, that sure sounds like Just One. Interesting. But this came out in 2017. Huh. That really does sound like Just One. Interesting. Alrighty, Swamped. This is from Bellwether Games. Ringo. So I played Ringo. Ringo's a game in which you have these rings and discs inside of them. You are basically making the board in front of you. I almost want to say, did I play this one live? I definitely reviewed it. Maybe I didn't play it live, but it's an interesting abstract strategy game. I like the concept of it a lot. You're moving stuff around, putting the rings on top of the circles. It's a cool looking game and simple, but I think offers some depth to it. Alrighty, Squirrel or Die. Oh, I'll squirrel then, if that's what it comes down to. Okay, this is from a publisher, Fight in a Box. Squirrel Life is not all nuts and games. Well, let's take a look at the pieces. Oh, that's some weird artwork. Huh. I don't know anything more about the game after looking at it than I did before. Mumia Pocket Dungeon. The Legend of the Windigo. So Legend of Windigo is a children's style game in which you are, well, it's one versus all. One person is trying to, they're like pretending to be one of the scouts. You're all telling a story. You have to figure out who the Wendigo player is. And they are moving discs and doing different things on the table, and the other players are trying to figure out. It's way too light for adults, but it's really good for kids. All right, we got Gangster. This is 118 ratings. This is from Luda Art 2006. Wow, it's a very stark game. Huh. Not the kind of game I think I'd pick up and buy, but definitely a product of its time. I think had I been playing more of these, well, I was playing games in 2006, I would have probably hunted this one down had I seen it at that point in time. All right, Fishy Tactics. Dread, the card game. Is this Judge Dredd? It is. Roundtable Productions. Oof. Yeah, wow. Talk about a game that looks like a 1990s CCG. When did this come out? 1999. Well, there you go. Is it a collectible card game? Yep, CCG Workshop. Well, there you go. This is one of those dead CCGs. Password Plus, Duel for Curse, Beyond the Gate of Antares, Topo. Alrighty. And Tin Soldiers. Let's take a look at both of those since they have almost 200 ratings apiece. Topo is from Reiner Knizia from a Bacchus spiel. You're trying to match sets of 3 in the middle of the table as fast as you can. I keep saying this, but people don't realize just how many of these little games Dr. Knizia has made. This one came from Rio Grande. I feel like I've had this game at one point. I don't know that I've ever played it. Tin Soldiers from Al Newman. This is from R&R Games. So this is a bunch of food is fighting. It is a trick-taking game. Alrighty. There's the original one that came out in 1999. And then it looks like it was picked up, and this is the new version from R&R Games. I do like the art. I like trick-taking games in general. I've not played this one, I don't think, so that'd be an interesting one to try out. Alrighty, let's see. Battle of the Ancient World, Volume 3. Villainy. Alright, so Villainy is a game. I remember playing this one in 2014. This is from Mayfair Games, and I really liked the concept of the game. Right, you're being a villain, and it's using different artwork, but it was just way too complex for how simple the game was. Also, the component quality, not that good. You can even see the places where these come out, where they were attached. Mayfair, at this point in 2014, Mayfair's quality was just awful. And yes, you could draw words to pick your name, but yeah, it just was not a good game, unfortunately. But I like the idea of being villains. Yellowstone Park from 2003. This has 197 ratings. Oh, I do like the cover of this one. It's from Amigo. Oh my. A lot of animals on drugs in this picture. So you're putting cards on a board. Are you playing against the other players? Huh, looks really interesting. Like a 2-player? Is it a 2-player game? 2 to 5, but best with 2. From Uwe Rosenberg. Well, that's interesting. 2003. This was way before he was popular, and it was a recommended for the spiel, their spiel for families. One review of it 14 years ago. Well, there's one to hunt down at some point. Let's look here at the first Arab-Israeli war. Zayak. Well, I'm going to look at this one just because I like how this looks. Oh, it's from Nestor Games. That's why. Nestor Games is kind of a print on demand, but that's just a classy looking game. An abstract strategy game. I don't know if the game is any good or not, but that one just looks really pretty. I like that image and how that looks a lot. All right, 300, the board game. I believe this was designed by Andrew Parks. Yep, Andy Parks did this one, and I never did get around to playing this one. I always said that 300, the movie, feels like a video game in movie form, so it makes sense that that would translate to board game. I've heard decent things about this one, although, again, it is ranked 10,438, but who knows? News at 11. This is really not a board game. This is just you making up crazy news stories, getting a bunch of things that people have written down on cards. That's the whole thing. It's not even a game. All right, Kissenschlacht. And I already mentioned Mr. Card Game last time, so you can look at the last video for that. Kissenschlacht here from Amigo. Oh, this is a kid's game, it looks like, with pillows. Is it a pillow fighting game? Put a pillow in a catapult, lob it in the box. It was recommended for the Spiel des Jahres Kinderspiel. Oh, the designer is Lisbeth. Now, she's a really nice person. I've met her. Has designed several games. Captain Clever is one. And The Princess and the Pea is probably the most famous one, even though that one's ranked really low on Board Game Geek. But that's because Board Game Geek definitely has a bias against children's games. Not Board Game Geek, but the people who rate games. Dark Eden, Alexander Attire, Cortex Challenge Kids, Suez 73. Some more. Oh, Project Elite. This is the new Project Elite. I rank this one a 10 out of 10. One of my favorite games, although I'm kind of ranking it based on the prototype I played, and also I played the original one that came out from the company that Command got it from. Which name is escaping me at this point in time. Artipia Games, though, was one of the two publishers that did it originally. Them working with Command, they made this game where you're just running in and fighting. I mean, you're standing there and fighting off waves of aliens. I really love this game. Looking forward to seeing this one come out. 2020, will it come out in 2020? I'm a little doubtful of that. Hey, it's Foundations of Rome. This one is 2021. I mentioned this one because it's a Dice Tower Essential by Emerson Matsuuchi. I love this game. It's a fantastic tile-laying game, except instead of tiles, there's big, grandiose, terrific-looking buildings. And so this one was just on Kickstarter. I believe the backer kit may still be open. I'm not sure. Sensei, Heavy Gear Tactical. Makruk. Well, you know I'm always going to look at these abstract games. I'm always curious about them. This one looks like a chess. Oh, it's Thai chess. Well, that's interesting. I've never heard of Thai chess. A very different kind of game. It looks like the front row starts in front of everyone else, and there's dice. Or there was at least dice in that one. Ooh, that's a pretty set. Oh. All right. Rolling Bandits. I feel like I've played Rolling Bandits. I have played Rolling Bandits. You roll the dice, get on the train, and plunder as much as you can. Well, I haven't ranked this one. This one is a good one for kids. You're just moving down the train, rolling dice, trying to match symbols, kind of pushing your luck to some degree. Among Thieves, I talked about that one last time. Again, these that kind of drop down in the ratings pretty easily. Cube Farm. So now here is an older game from James Ernest and Cheap Ass Games. And this is one that came out 2002, and so I'm going to apologize. It's going to really be a struggle for me to remember what this game was about. You had to add your own pieces to it. It just comes with the cards, and so that's why it's called Cube Farm. When did I rank this one here? August 2012. Okay, well, it was 8 years ago that I played this. I tend to think his games are interesting. I ranked this one a 6, so it's probably just interesting at best. I'd have to go back and watch my own review to remember. Kamigama Battles, Rivers of Souls. That did not do as well as Kamigama. There's another Magic the Gathering dual deck. Karate Tomato. I think there's another game from Reiner Knizia. Did Z review this one? Yeah, he did. I remember us talking about it. And we just made fun of the name. It's silliness. I mean, I love the art in this one. The art in this one is fantastic. So that's pretty cool. So Karate Tomato. Dice War, Platoon Commander Deluxe, Fame Us. I hate the name of this game. But anyway, this is from Asmodee and Moonster Games. I gave this one a 5.5. And you are trying to think of, you're putting cards in the middle of the table, and you're just trying to think of people who match the different cards that are in the middle of the table. Yeah, not a very good game. Fight Ball. Now, talk about a game that brings back memories. This one is from Cheap Ass Games, too. This one's interesting because it's in color. And most of his games were done in black and white. And there were different boxes. You can see you had the Texas Wildcats versus the Cruisers. The art's by Eduardo Mueller, but I thought for a moment that Phil Foglio had done it. The Cavaliers versus Team Sport. This was a 20-minute real-time game. Now, this was before real-time games were very popular, and it was okay. It was okay. So back in the day, though, it was one I know a lot of people liked. And this game's just called Roll and Play. Kaiser, Dino World. Wait, I remember talking about this last time. Wow, man, the games move around fast. Save the Treasury of Fairy Tales, Dreams of Tomorrow, 2019. I believe I have this game sitting around the house somewhere. Looks pretty interesting. And there it is at PAX U. Huh. Well, it's a pretty looking game, so I'm going to have to get this one into the queue, realizing, of course, we have a very long queue. Singapore, Tricked Out Hero, McJohnny's. I remember when McJohnny's came out, 2014. This is from Czech Board Games, not to be confused with CGE, Czech Games. And I was off-put by how horrific that cover is. Don't eat crap. Taste a crab. Thanks, ma'am, for that useful information. I don't know. It looks like an interesting game to some degree, but it also looks gross, like a game that Mad Magazine might sell. Justice League strategy game. So this is a cooperative game from WizKids, also by Andy Parks. And you are trying to stop Darkseid. It's a card-driven game, and you're working together with dice and tokens to stop Darkseid. So this came out 2014. War Master, Robotech, Ace Pilot, Butterfly. Huh. I feel like I played Butterfly. This is from Real Grounded Games. I certainly have looked at it. Actually, it might be at my house right now. Definitely a game that intrigues me. Maybe Z did this one. No, he didn't. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this one gets reviewed at some point from us. All right, Prelude to Disaster, Business Strategy. Well, that one has 129 reviews. So does Red Empire and Daddy Cool, all over 100. So let's take a look at each of these old games. Business Strategy. Yeah, talk about anyone can succeed in business. Wow, yeah, talk about a game of its time with paper money. There's a basic and an advanced game. Woo! Yeah, we'll pass this one for now. Red Empire. This is your different people in the Soviet Union, and you're trying to keep the Soviet Union from collapsing. So this isn't Kremlin. Interesting. I've not heard of this game. The card game of Soviet power politics from GDW. Alrighty, from 1990. And Daddy Cool. This is from Hook from 2004. I like how this one looks. Those are some pretty cool tiles there, and you're just moving the bears. It looks like a sort of a race game. Oh, those are great components. All right, cool. Sarah, Doodle Islands, Spartan, Grant's Gamble, Settlers of Catan, Rockman Edition. I have not heard of this. This is a Mega Man villain, Rockman. Wow, this is like one of those games, if you have it, you would bring it out just to show people. And they'd be like, what? What is this? Wow, that's so different and unique. All right, Settlers of Catan, Rockman Edition. Then we have War of Kings, Shipwreck, Landit, Ambria, and finally the last one today, Feudal Lord. Feudal Lord from 1983. This looks like a war game of sorts. Wow, charts all over the place. And little counters. Whew. This looks like a fairly complex game. Feudal Lord is a Japanese language game for up to 8 players. 1,300 die-cut counters? Woo! That's a lot of counters. Interesting. That's a big, heavy war game from Japan. I don't often see that from Japan. Interesting. Alrighty. Well, that's it, folks. Another 10,000 and below. I'm Tom Vassell. Thanks so much for watching. If there's one of these 100 that you thought is interesting or you want to talk about, mention it in the comments below. We'll see y'all next time.